Your morning routine sets the tone for your entire day. By starting the day with intention and purpose, you are building momentum that sets you up for consistency and for success. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. Welcome back to my 100-day walk to consistency. I'm glad that you're joining me for this day of continuing our journey for building a better version of ourselves, to building an improved version of ourselves, to building a confident and a consistent version of ourselves. Hey, today we're going to be talking about morning routines. And this is day number 36. I'm glad that you're here. Remember, consistency is your key. It is your superpower that sets you up for success. So let's go ahead. I'll see you on the walk. So we're talking about morning routines. And of course, the question is, why is a morning routine, why does it really matter? Well, number one, when we have a morning routine, it sets the tone of the day. So the way you begin, if you begin in a structured way, if you begin in a way that has intention, and you are organized in your morning, then it sets you up for a better day. I know sometimes when I get up, if I just rush into my day, if I don't spend the time looking and organizing and making sure that I know what's going to happen, if I just stumble into the day, then that day does not go that well. And you may have found the same thing. And you may even have found that if you are not intentional about looking at those things that you need to do, that you end up the day and you've done stuff. You've had a lot of busy time, but it seems as though you've not had anything that's accomplished. Or even if you've accomplished things, it seems like there's something missing. Or you've done those things that seem to be on the list, but the important things didn't get done. So the way you start the morning sets you up for tremendous success. And having a structured way of doing that is very important. You've heard me say all the time that often we don't succeed not because we don't have drive, not because we don't have a vision. We don't succeed because we don't have a structure. And so a morning routine gives you structure for your day. It gives you the things that you need, the organization that you need to set your day up for success. So very important that you do that. So a productive morning routine helps you go through the day. A structured and intentional morning routine can increase your productivity. Yeah, right? Because when you are intentional about what you're doing in the morning, you tend to be intentional about the things that you do in the day as well. So number one, it sets the tone of the day. Number two, it builds momentum for the day. So when you start the day off well, then everything else builds on the day. If you start the day behind, disorganized, confused, then that's the tone for the day, and you don't get the momentum that comes from starting out well. If you are someone who does lists, if you do to-do lists, if you do any of the organization things that we've talked about, you can do that at any time during the day. But if you start that out in the morning, then you already know from the beginning what are the things that you need to do to get through that day and to do the things that are important. Okay? So you certainly can start doing that at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whenever it is. But if we started earlier in the day, then we set ourselves up for more success, for better success, and we set ourselves up to get through the day and have done all the things that we need to do. Okay? When you start the day, that's what it does. This makes it easier to stay consistent, right? So if I'm getting the things done that I need to get done, then I'm more likely to be consistent because there's that cue that I get from having something that goes well, from having something that, when we get that one small improvement, then we're more likely to continue doing more things to continue the improvement and to get the momentum, keep the momentum going. Okay? So it builds on the momentum. As you guys see, I'm in a different part of town. My son is at basketball practice, so I thought I would do my video from over here today. Kind of a different view. This is over in Madison, Alabama, by the way. Yeah, so we're gonna try to make sure we don't get some of these folks in the video. Okay. So if you begin the day with accomplishments, with those key things, then you are more likely to continue that as we go through the day. And yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid, getting some people in the shot. Okay, so I think we'll kind of go back this way so that we don't get these people in the shot here. And it's a little shopping center that we've got that I'm walking through, so I'm gonna kind of walk back this way. It's actually good lighting in here. Okay, there we go. All right, so there we go. So let's see, what was I saying? Right, so if you accomplish key tasks, then your brain says, okay, we are succeeding, and so it wants to do more. Okay, and so we begin building more and more momentum. And remember, momentum is that thing that we have access to that compounds the effort that we're putting in. So when we have momentum, then we put in some effort, but that gets magnified in the process that we do. Okay. All right. So how does a morning routine fuel consistency? How does a morning routine fuel consistency? Number one, it reduces decision fatigue. Remember that decision fatigue is that space that we sometimes will find ourselves in, where the brain doesn't want to have to make any more decisions. So we've made decisions, we've had that process going throughout the day, and the brain says, okay, that's it. I don't want to make any more decisions. And what does it do? It defaults to the simplest, easiest, less conflict-driven response. And so that's kind of like, if I'm standing at your door in the morning with some cookies, and you've decided that you're not going to eat those cookies or eat cookies, in the morning when you're going out the door, not a problem. You don't eat the cookies because guess what? You've decided that that's not what you're going to do. But on the way to work, there is an accident, and you've got to make a decision about going a particular direction. And you get to work, and your boss tells you that there's something that you were supposed to do that he needs it earlier. And so you've got to make decisions about the report. And then there's a meeting. And so all day you're making these decisions. Now, at the end of that day, if you're not careful, when you're walking back through the door, guess what? If I'm standing right there, you're going to eat the cookie. Because the brain doesn't want to have to make another decision. It doesn't want to have to fight anymore. And the simplest thing for it to do is to eat the cookie. So that is how decision fatigue shows up often. And you think, oh, I just wanted the cookie. I just wanted to not walk today. I just wanted to not go to the gym. No, it's not that you just didn't want to go. It's that your brain says, hey, we're tired. And we don't have the capacity. We don't have the desire right now to make decisions. And so let's just do the simplest thing. And the simplest thing is to stay in bed, not walk, eat the cookie, not exercise, not save money, whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah, that's what happens with decision fatigue. So when you have a routine The routine sets you up on a path. It gives you structure for the things that you're going to do, so your brain doesn't have to make a decision. It doesn't have to decide if you're going to the gym. It doesn't have to decide if you're going to go walk. It doesn't have to decide what you're having for lunch, because you got up, you sat down, you intentionally made plans for what you're going to do on the day. And so that helps you to reduce decision fatigue. The fewer decisions you have to make in the morning, the more mental energy you have to do other things and to be successful. So decision fatigue is one way that morning routines helps us. It creates a sense of accomplishment. So when you have done your morning routine and you've set those things that you're going to do, and at the end of the day, you've accomplished them, you've done them, and you can check them off. You may be a box checker. You may be one of those people that gets a kick out of getting those things checked off. And if so, well, all of us really, when we're able to do something because we said this is what we're going to do, and now that has been done, then we feel accomplished, and it gives us that sense of accomplishment, and now we get momentum, right? So all those are things that will give us momentum as we move through this space of being consistent. Okay, and I'm on the other side of of the shopping center. Not a lot of folks on this side, but hey, we get to do our walk and we get to talk, right? So when you already meditated, or when you are mindful, when you are meditating, and you set your intentions for the day, and you get those done, then your brain says, yes, this is who we are. This is how we roll. This is what we do. And so the brain is very excited about that, and it says, okay, let's keep doing that for the rest of the day. Okay. Next thing is it builds momentum, right? A consistent morning routine causes and creates momentum, right? I know momentum is a big thing here, but once again, it is the compounding of your effort, right? Wouldn't you like to be able to put in minimal energy and to get maximum benefit? If you do that, if you use the momentum, then that's what's happening. You're putting in a certain amount of energy, and that energy is being translated and magnified into bigger and into more. Okay, so that's how consistency drives momentum. Success builds on itself. So when you start the day with wins, you're more likely to get wins throughout the day. Yeah, let me say that. So this is that idea of the story. So when the story that we tell ourselves is a story of success, when that's what we're creating, then we're more likely to have success in our space. And I'm pausing because I'm back at the front of this center, and I'm going to see if we can walk through and not not run into a lot of folks, but we'll see. Here we go. Okay. So when we have successes, our brain creates success, and it looks for places to be successful. It looks for examples. It looks for ways. It looks for times. It looks for opportunities where we can do things that are setting us up for success. Once again, success builds on success. So what we're doing is, once again, we're using that momentum to get to where we need to be. So what are some elements of a productive morning? All right, so this is an important one. Now, I'm going to say here that there's nothing wrong with having a midday routine. There's nothing wrong with having a nighttime routine, because as a matter of fact, I have a nighttime routine. You've heard me talk about bookending, right? So that is doing something in the morning and then going through the day and then doing something again in the evening. So I do bookending. But there's something to be said about morning routines. Once again, what we're doing is we're setting the tone for the day. We are creating structure for success. We are looking at those things that we need to do, those structures, the to-do lists. We're organizing, we are prioritizing, right? So all of the different tools that we learned, we're putting those um, in effect, and we are deciding what we're doing for today. So that's morning routine. So what does a morning routine start with, or what do we have, right? So number one, it starts with mindfulness. Oh yeah. I know mindfulness comes in because it's one of those keystone principles. So mindfulness says that I'm present here, that I am experiencing the here and the now. I'm not trying to avoid, I'm not trying to buffer, but I'm feeling the feelings. I'm experiencing whatever is coming, I'm experiencing it. And I am willing to do what I have to do so that I can be successful. Okay, so that's what mindfulness says. I'm starting to get to a place where we're seeing more and more people. Okay, but that's okay. So begin your day with mindfulness or meditation. Just even a few moments of peace and calm where you are remaining centered will set you up for success as you move through your space. And if you do that, even for a short period of time, the rest of the day is set up to have more success, because you don't then have to worry about where you are, how you're feeling, what are the things that are going on in your space. You can spend time putting your energy into focusing on what you've got to do for what you have to do for the day. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why mindfulness is so important. Okay, there you go. See, look at that. I'm maneuvering the people out of the shop. All right, so we're back, and I moved from where I was. A lot of folks over there. So let's see. Right, so set day intentions, right? So after your mindfulness practice, take a few moments to set your intentions for the day. What are we going to accomplish? What are we going to be doing? What is our goal? I remember we did one of our episodes, we talked about organization, prioritizing. So what are the top 3 things we're going to do? What are the important, urgent things we're going to do? What are the non-important, not urgent things we're going to get off of our list, right? So what is my intention for today? I've got to set that so I can maximize my ability to be successful. You might set the intention to stay focused on a big project, right? You may follow the Pomodoro principle, right? So today I'm working on this. So 25 and 5, 25 minutes of working, 5 minutes of break. And this is what I'm focusing on today. So when you get to the end of that day, if you've set that intention and you've been able to do that, then you feel a sense of accomplishment. And as you move through that project, you will get the momentum once again that comes with the amplification of the things that you're doing. Next, you want to incorporate physical movement. Hey, look, what does that sound like? That's right, 100 days, right? So 100-day walk to consistency. So you want to include some physical activity, because if you're sitting all day, we tend to get stagnant. We don't get all those juices moving that we need. Our creativity is not as expanded. We're not able to think outside the box as much as we need to. So when you're adding some movement to your day, that is a huge plus for success and ultimately for consistency. So add some kind of activity. Here, this is a great one, right? So we're doing a 100-day walk to consistency. Let that be your time that you're using to add activity add your activity to your daily routine. Do it in the morning. Get up early and work through the process. Okay. Next, you want to plan and prioritize. Once again, there's that planning and prioritizing. So don't just have a to-do list and say, okay, I'm doing all the things on this to-do list. what are the urgent important things? What are the top 3 things that you've got to do? And let's get those done. Let's plan to do those. Let's incorporate time to be able to get that done. Because if we can do that, then all the things we just talked about, momentum, the sense of accomplishment that we get, all of that comes into play. All of that comes into play for us as we are moving in that direction. Have to get across that road here really quickly. All right, so prioritize. And we learned several key principles on how to prioritize. Go back and watch that episode and start working on that. Then we want to fuel the body appropriately. Fuel the body appropriately. We want to fuel it with balanced bites. Balanced bites. So balanced bites is a concept that I came up with, and it is kind of the criteria for the eating that we want to do, the types of foods that we want to eat that give us the best chance of being successful. Whole foods, minimized processing, no added sugar, starchy, non-starchy vegetables, appropriate portion sizes, and then it's got to be tasty, because if it's not tasty, y'all, we're not going to eat it. It's going to get boring. Okay, so we want to fuel the body appropriately. If you don't do that, then you can get deficiencies, you can be tired, you'll put on weight, you'll be fatigued, you won't be able to sleep. And so all those things that come with not having an optimized meal, optimized food plan will come if we're not careful, if we're not doing what we need to do for the body. So make sure that you are fueling the body correctly. Remember, balanced bites, balanced bites. Fuel your body with balanced bites. Just remember that. I need to come up with an acronym for the balanced bites, for all the things that are in there. Yeah, if you think of one, send it to me. Okay? So fuel the body, fuel the body. So a simple meal in the morning that's not too heavy, that is nutrient dense, not calorie dense. So remember, calorie dense are those things that have a lot of calories. Chocolate bar, for example. Some people would do smoothies, but the smoothie, when they do the smoothie, has like so many calories, and really they destroy all the fiber that's in the things that they're putting in the smoothie.
Time 27 minutes 15 seconds. Total distance 1.0 miles. Average pace 27 minutes 14 seconds per mile. Split pace 27 minutes 14 seconds per mile.
All right, so you heard my readout there. Tell me how long and how fast and all of that. I'm not sure what you guys use for your tracking. I think there's an episode coming up where we talk about some of that, but make sure that you're tracking. Make sure you're keeping track of what you're doing in terms of walking, right? 100 days. All right. So that is our discussion for morning routine, right? So don't complicate it. Make it simple. And if you do that, you will have success. And you know, we can't ever leave without having a challenge. Are you ready for the challenge? Make sure you're grabbing your journal, and let's do it. So today the challenge is to build a morning routine, right? So we're building a morning routine. So number one, identify what the morning routine elements are. And we've talked about some of that. And there may be other things that you want to add in that are important to you that you need to get into your list of things for the day, right? So create your morning routine. Think about it. What are the key activities that you will set? Choose at least 3 activities, right? Mindfulness, journaling, exercise, for example, right? You may have other things that you want to be in there, and write those down, document them, and Movement, like I said, you want to make sure that you're adding some movement in there. So that's one that I definitely think that you should add into your morning routine. Number 2, I want you to set a consistent time. And let this truck go by. Set a consistent time for when you're going to do this. So that means that you may have to do what? Adjust your schedule. Adjust your schedule by waking up earlier, by changing some things around at night that you are currently doing, that you need to move around so you can get to bed on time, so you can wake up in time, so you can get into this morning routine, right? So decide on a consistent time to wake up and to get the morning routine going. Implement your routine. Anything that's on paper is just on paper. It doesn't come to life until you put action to it. It doesn't have life until you do something about it. So take a step, put that morning routine into practice over the next 7 days, and start small. Start small, but commit to following that, right? Maybe we'll do a 100-day morning routine to consistency, okay? And then always, 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 you want to reflect and adjust. Anything that we do, anything that we want to change, we want to be able to evaluate it, look at it. Do we need to tweak it? Do we need to make changes? Do we need to adjust? Do we need to do anything differently for it? And then write those down. The only way that you're going to keep track of what's working and what's not working, the only way that you're going to know if you need to tweak or what you tweaked and what you need to keep is if you are recording it. And the journal is a great place to be able to do that. This comes another truck. We're going to let this one go by. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm looking at the gym where my son is, and I don't see him yet. So that's cool, right? All right. So creating a productive morning routine is one of the most powerful things that you can do. It is a keystone, right? It is a keystone element. And if you can do it, I should say if you can do it, when you do it, you are setting yourself up for great, great success by incorporating mindfulness, movement, right? Meditation, planning, healthy habits, eating well. All of those things set you up for success as you move throughout the day. Hey. Thank you for joining me for day number 36 of my 100-day walk to consistency. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. I'm glad that you joined me. Remember, make sure you're doing the challenges. Don't just let the episodes go by. Get in there and start doing them, and then make sure you're working on the workbook. When you're done, you're going to have a manual that you can use for success. It's your manual for success. Make sure you're doing that, putting the time in. So we get to these 100 days. When we get to day 100, we can celebrate because we've been consistently doing the things that we need to do. Now, I'm going to say something here. If you are behind, if you find yourself, something happened, life happened, you became ill, you got burnt out, whatever it is, that does not mean that you can't pick up right from where you are. Oh yeah, right? Get back on track. You can do this. 100-day to consistency. Remember that consistency confidence loop? As we become more consistent, as we persist, we get more confident. And when we, quote unquote, fall off the track, fall off the bandwagon, as people say, and we'll talk about it, I don't like that phrase, but we use it. When we do that, that doesn't mean that it's all over. We can get right back in and we can do what we need to do to be consistent, and we can do what we need to do to be successful. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Woode with an E. The E stands for Endocrinology. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And we'll see you on day number 37 for my 100-day walk to consistency. We'll see you on the trail.